63. This bright perfection of her inner state. A calm, slow sun looked down from tranquil heavens. A rooted, sullen rearguard of retreat, the last rains had fled, murmuring across the woods. And Savitri's life was glad, fulfilled like Earth's. She had found herself. She knew her being's aim. Although her kingdom of marvelous change within remained unspoken in her secret breast, all that lived round her felt its magic charm. Absorbed in wide communion with the unseen, the mild ascetics of the wood received a sudden greatening of their lonely muse. This bright perfection of her inner state poured overflowing into her outward scene, making beautiful, dull, common, natural things, and action wonderful, and time divine. A light invaded all from her being's light. Her heartbeat's dance communicated bliss. Happiness grew happier, shared with her, by her touch, and grief some solace found when she drew near. Above the cherished head of Satyavan, she saw not now fate's dark and lethal orb, a golden circle round a mystic sun, disclosed to her newborn predicting sight the cyclic rondure of a sovereign life. A golden circle round a mystic sun disclosed to her newborn predicting sight the cyclic rondure of a sovereign life. Always he was with her, a living soul that met her eyes with close, enamored eyes, a living body near to her body's joy. But now, no longer in these great wild woods. They were tied in the single circling of their days. Once, as she sat in deep, felicitous muse, still quivering from her lover's strong embrace, and made her joy a bridge twixt earth and heaven, an abyss yawned suddenly beneath her heart. A vast and nameless fear dragged at her nerves, as drags a wild beast its half-slaughtered prey. It seemed to have no den from which it sprang. It was not hers, but hid its unseen cause. Then, rushing, came its vast and fearful fount, a formless dread with shapeless, endless wings, filling the universe with its dangerous breath. A denser darkness than the night could bear enveloped the heavens and possessed the earth. A rolling surge of silent death it came. It seemed her very being to forbid, abolishing all by which her nature lived, and labored to blot out her body and soul. A clutch of some half-seen invisible, an ocean of terror and of sovereign might, a person and a black infinity. A voice to the dumb anguish of the heart conveyed a stark sense of unspoken words. In her own depths, she heard the unuttered thought that made unreal the world and all life meant. Who art thou who claimst thy crown or separate birth, the illusion of thy soul's reality and personal godhead on an ignorant globe in the animal body of imperfect man? Hope not to be happy in a world of pain, and dream not listening to the unspoken word, and dazzled by the inexpressible ray transcending the mute superconscious realm to give a body to the unknowable. I have created all I devour. I am death, and the dark, terrible mother of life. I am Kali, black and naked in the world. I am Maya, and the universe is my cheat. I lay waste human happiness with my breath. O soul, inventor of man's thoughts and hopes, at last know thyself, from vain existence cease. A shadow of the negating absolute. The intolerant darkness traveled, surging past, and ebbed in her the formidable voice. Then from the heights a greater voice came down. The cry of the abyss drew heaven's reply. A might of storm chased by the might of the sun. O soul, bear not thy kingdom to the foe. Consent to hide thy royalty of bliss, lest time and fate find out its avenues, and beat with thunderous knock upon thy gates. Content, abide not with one conquered realm. Adventure all to make the whole world thine. To break into greater kingdoms, turn thy force. Fear not to be nothing, that thou mayest be all. Assent to the emptiness of the Supreme, that all in thee may reach its absolute. To make thy life a bridge twixt earth and heaven. God must be born on earth and be as man, that man, being human, may grow even as God. He who would save the world must be one with the world. His soul must be wider than the universe and feel eternity as its very stuff. Rejecting the moment's personality, know itself older than the birth of time. Creation, an incident in its consciousness. Arcturus and Belphegor, grains of fire, circling in a corner of its boundless self. The world's destruction, a small, transient storm. In the calm infinity it has become. If thou wouldst a little loosen the vast chain, draw back from the world that the idea has made. Then shalt thou uncover the unknowable. Thou shalt be one with God's bare reality and the miraculous world he has become, and the diviner miracle still to be, when nature, who is now unconscious God, translucent, rose to the eternal's light, her seeing his sight, her walk his steps of power, and life is filled with a spiritual joy, and matter is the Spirit's willing bride. Consent to be nothing and none. Dissolve time's work. Cast off thy mind. Step back from form and name. Annul thyself that only God may be.